What is up, guys? It's your boy Raid Cacus, and today we are going to be showcasing all of the Salvation's Edge raid weapons just added into Destiny 2 within the Final Shape expansion, and going over their PvE and PvP God Rolls, so you guys know which ones are worth going after, which ones are worth crafting, and importantly, if there are any worth spending your Deepsight Harmonizers on. And so, let's get started. Now, first of all, we need to go over some of the things that all of these raid weapons share. Number one, that's going to be an origin trait. So it's called Collective Purpose, and what it does is that you gain bonus range and handling when near allies. Bows receive faster draw time, and swords receive faster charge rate. The effect scales with the number of nearby allies. Overall, I don't think this origin trait is too insane, especially when you compare it to something like Soul Drinker that heals you, but the added range is nice, and potentially a better charge rate with swords, and there is going to be a raid sword, is not too bad as well. Now, the other thing these weapons share is the possibility of getting a totally unique weapon perk. The only weapons in the entire game that can get this perk right now are Salvation's Edge raid weapons. So the perk is going to be called Chaos Reshaped, and here's what it says. This weapon gains bonus damage while in combat for an extended time. Remaining in combat for even longer rewards a larger damage bonus and periodically heals the wielder. So basically, this is Frenzy on steroids, and Frenzy is already a very good weapon perk, but here's exactly what Chaos Reshaped does in-game. So, as you can see right here, from the moment I start being in combat, I'm going to time how long it takes, and overall, with being shot at and shooting, it's going to take around 12 seconds, or I say around, it was basically exactly 12 seconds to trigger Chaos Reshaped. And this is very similar to Frenzy. Now, starting from this point, I set the timer again, so from Chaos Reshaped, it's actually going to take another 12 seconds for it to become Chaos Reshaped times 2. Now, very importantly, guys, you can actually trigger this even when you're not shooting at anything. As you can see right here, I'm only getting shot at. That still counts as being in combat, and that will trigger Chaos Reshaped. So what bonuses do you get? Well, at a base level, I'm hitting for 1,095 damage to the body. Then with Chaos Reshaped times 1, I'm hitting for 1,314 damage. And then with Chaos Reshaped times 2, I'm hitting for 1,479 damage. Now this works out to a 20% damage bonus at Chaos times 1, and a 35% damage bonus at Chaos times 2. Guys, this is actually a ton of bonus damage. To put it in perspective, Frenzy is a 15% damage bonus, so even at Chaos times 1, you're outpacing Frenzy in terms of damage. Now yes, you miss out on the stats and the reload speed, but then you get the healing. So at Chaos times 2, as you can see, my health will just randomly jump. Now this jump is not too intense, it's less than Cure times 1, I believe, and overall, again, it's not going to massively give all your health back, but it still appears periodically enough, and it's certainly noticeable. Another thing to note is that you actually don't need to get kills or anything to trigger this. As you can see, it will just automatically pulse me with healing every once in a while. So essentially, it's Frenzy, but you're giving up the reload speed to get way more damage and also healing. Honestly, I think a lot of people are going to make that trade, and I think this perk is going to be fantastic on stuff like this SMG, primary weapons you're using all the time in combat. So let's take a look at this SMG specifically and what God Rolls it can get. So this is the Imminence. It's a legendary strand submachine gun, and it's a lightweight frame 900 rounds per minute archetype. Generally a pretty good archetype, especially for PvE. Now, taking a look at the perks here, you have the normal assortment of barrels. Basically, you're looking for as much range and stability you can squeeze onto this thing. After that, normal magazine type perks, increase your reload speed, extend your magazine, stuff like that, increase your stats for PvP. And then in the first column, Well, for PvP, I think we're absolutely going to be going for the bottom one here, Demolitionist. Like having Demolitionist in the left is not that common. It's extremely good. Getting extra grenade energy for getting kills is amazing. Your grenade is always good. Then in the second column, we have some interesting options here for sure, but honestly, I think the best one is Chaos Reshaped. Like the combination of Demolitionist, so you're getting grenade energy, and Chaos Reshaped, so you're boosting your damage, you're getting healing. That's an insane combo. Like that is a fantastic SMG. Not to mention, it's Strand, so you do have other synergies and other perks, like it does have Kill Clip and Hatchling here. If you want to go for the Demo plus Hatchling role, you can use it in a Strand build to get your, Threadling grenades back a lot more often. So that is definitely pretty useful. Now, for PvP, I think we're mainly talking about dynamic sway reduction to improve the accuracy massively, and then possibly target lock. However, it did get nerfed, so maybe you do want something like Kill Clip or another damage increasing perk. But I think overall, this SMG looks very good for PvE with Demo plus Chaos, or heck, even Enlightened Action to improve the reload speed for doing damage, plus Chaos. You've got a very, very solid PvE SMG. Now, moving on from there, we have the Non-Denouement bow here. This is a legendary arc bow belonging to the Precision Frame 684 draw time archetype. Now, when it comes to bowstrings, honestly, like you're almost always just trying to improve that draw time as much as possible, and kind of the same for the arrows. Like you just want the fastest draw time you can get most of the time, especially for PvE. In the first perk column here, we do actually have Shoot to Loot, which has kind of become a PvE all-star. Then you have some interesting ones, Hipfire Grip. You also have Dragonfly, and the classic Archer's Tempo is going to be great as well. And for the other column here, you actually have the Archer's Gambit perk, which was taken off of a pinnacle weapon and just added this season. If you want to hipfire your bow, actually does pair with Hipfire Grip pretty well. Then you've got some damage increasing perks like Desperate Measures, One for All. You also have Chaos Reshaped, and then you do have Explosive Head, which is a classic, and Volt Shot. So overall, guys, like if you go with Archer's Tempo to really improve the draw time, combine that with Explosive Head, you just got a great arc bow. But then you can also combine that with Volt Shot, so you are reloading after every single shot. Like, you are activating Volt Shot consistently. You don't have to even think about it. You're just activating Volt Shot. That could be very good as well. Now, for PvP, I think you might as well go for the Archer's Gambit Crazy perk here, because like no other bow can get it, or very few other bows can get that, and combine that with something like, I mean, maybe even Opening Shot. Again, Hipfire Grip is kind of a wombo combo, whatever you want to improve it that way. Now, let's move on from there, guys, and talk about the next raid weapon, the Critical Anomaly. Now, this is a stasis sniper rifle that belongs to the Aggressive Frame 72 rounds per minute archetype. So, taking a look at the perks here, generally, when we're talking about barrels, it's just improving the range as much as possible for basically PvE and PvP. However, in PvE, you don't want to sacrifice your stats too much. You don't really want full bore. And then in the second column, it's just Tac Mag or Extended Mag for PvE, Accurized for PvP. Then in the first column, we do have some PvP all-stars, like Quick Draws here, Opening Shot is here. These are fantastic. We have Keep Away as well, like massive perks that are going to improve your handling, your accuracy, all of that stuff. They're going to help you get that opening shot of an attack and have it be a crit. But then we have some crazy ones, like we actually have Rampage in the left column, which is quite rare. We have Rewind Rounds, which is a PvE all-star, gonna automatically reload your magazine. We have Chill Clip, which I don't think is that good here, but it's very interesting we have it here. And then we have Reconstruction. Reconstruction is one of the best PvE perks in the game. It is very, very good that we see it here. And then in the second column, we do have Snapshot Sights, PvP All-Star here, and that means you can have Quick Draw plus Snapshot if you want to be absolutely quick scoping people. Then we have Firing line, PvE All-Star when it comes to big damage with sniper rifles. You know, triple tap to get ammo back is fantastic in PvE as well. Explosive payload for that consistent damage increase. And we even have Chaos Reshaped. And then we have Headstone, which means you can have Headstone plus Chill Clip in the same role if you're running the ultimate, stasis weapon. And then we actually have Bait and Switch for big damage here, guys. Overall, for PvE, the fact that you can get Reconstruction plus Bait and Switch is crazy. Like, this is one of the best PvE sniper roles in the entire game. But you can also get Reconstruction triple tap or rewind rounds triple tap to massively extend your magazine if you want to go that direction as well. Or even you could go like Reconstruction firing line if you don't want to deal with triggering Bait and Switch. Overall, this actually has some very good God rolls for both PvP and PvE. Then moving on from there, guys, we have the Nullify, which is going to be a solar pulse rifle. Now, interestingly, this belongs to the brand new heavy burst damage archetype, 395 rounds per minute. So this is going to be a 2-round burst weapon. And then when we have the barrels here, again, it's range and stability. However, like if you get extra range with a barrel, you can actually reach 100 range with this thing. And you're going to need the help of accurized rounds in the second column, but you can go with a reload or magazine extension if you're using this in PvE. Then when we're going over the first main perk column, Firefly in the left is not that common. Demolitionist here as well is good. Subsistence here is good. Fourth times is all right. And you actually also have Heal Clip. This, I think, is the best one for PvE. Heal Clip is an all-star cure ×2 for getting a kill and reloading and healing nearby allies. God tier perk. And rapid hits, not bad as well. Now, when we look at the last column here, we have some damage increasing perks. Desperate Measures is all right. Vorpal Weapon, I don't think so. Adrenaline Junkie, maybe not, but you can pair it with Demolitionist. Multi-Kill Clip is actually quite the combo with Heal Clip. Like, if you want a good PvP role, it might be that. Heal Clip plus Multi-Kill Clip, get a kill, reload, damage boost, and heal yourself. Like, you just that play pattern of kill, reload, nuke the next guy, reload, nuke the next guy. It's actually going to be pretty good. Then we have Attrition Orbs Trash. Chaos Reshaped is going to be pretty decent. And Incandescent PvE All-Star. So the combination of Heal Clip plus Incandescent, I think that's definitely in contention for the PvE God roll, right? Like, that is going to be fantastic for normal level content. But again, you can also go Heal Clip, Chaos Reshaped, to just improve your damage if you don't care too much about the Scorched. But this has some solid rolls as well. And the fact that it's an incredibly unique archetype is also giving it a ton of value. Now, after that, guys, we have the Forthcoming Deviant's Legendary Void Glaive. Now, this is actually a rapid fire glaive, so that's going to be 80 rounds per minute. I think the only other one is the one from the Ghost of the Deep Dungeon, so definitely has a uniqueness factor there. And taking a look at the perks here, your haft is really up to you. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference depending on what you want to use it for. Then you have the normal assortment of glaive, magazines or reload speed increases or stat increases. Where it gets interesting is the first column, because Disruption Break in the left, some people are really going to like. Grave Robber has been updated, and Grave Robber is great on glaives. Melee Final Blows will reload your magazine. So you get one glaive melee, it completely reloads your magazine. That's very good. Then we have some other okay perks here, and really we have Replenishing Aegis if you want to use this for blocking, but we actually have Reconstruction for the first time ever. We have never seen Reconstruction on a glaive before, so that's kind of interesting as well. And then in the last column here, guys, Unstoppable Force, blocking damage with your shield increases projectile damage. Not bad, especially when you pair it with Replenishing Aegis. Vorpal Weapon, Desperate Measures, Close to melee is actually quite good. Your projectile hits will improve your melee damage. So you just run in, shoot a guy, then start meleeing. Does a lot of damage. Destabilizing rounds I don't think is that good. Chaos Reshaped could be really good here, right? Because you're in the fray. You're fighting guys with your glaive. and suddenly you're getting massively increased damage and the healing, like almost mainly for the healing. If you're using a glaive, you're going to be up in people's faces, could be really good. And then we actually have chain reaction. Chain reaction for a special. Now it did get nerfed a bit, but it could still be decent as well. Now, I might be huffing copium here for the glaives, but man, there was a time where glaives were really, really good, and it's not going to take much to get them in a position where they're actually pretty usable again. And this does have some very interesting roles we have never seen before on an archetype that's extremely rare. This does have some value for that. And then, guys, the last weapon we're going to look at here is the Summon Bonum, and this is going to be an arc sword. Now, this is actually going to belong to the brand new wave frame sword archetype. So when you do a heavy attack, it does almost like a wave frame grenade launcher attack along the ground. Actually very good for ad clearing and can do some good damage because you wave frame and then you actually have a quick follow-up attack as well to kind of combo that into even more damage. Taking a look at the perks here, guys, we do have your normal assortment of blades. Generally, you really want honed or jagged edge to improve the damage. After that, basically the guard is up to you. I think the best is enduring guard, but you know, really just I've never found it to make that big of a difference. Then we have the main stat perks here. We have some interesting options. Unrelenting to give you health back can be okay. And then, of course, we do have Relentless Strikes, which is an all-star for PvE. And then in the second column here, we got some interesting options. Like we have Vorpal, One for All, Surrounded is an all-star, Whirlwind Blade is an all-star, and Bait and Switch is an all-star. But we also have Chain Reaction and Chaos Reshaped. Now, Chaos Reshaped will end up doing more damage, I believe, than either Whirlwind Blade or Bait and Switch by 5%. But it will take 24 seconds to trigger that. However, if you're in an encounter where you're in combat before the fight, you're getting shot at by the boss, etc., and you're just kind of waiting around for damage, you can potentially trigger Chaos Reshaped before you start damage, and then you get the biggest damage increase available out of all these perks, and you get some little bumps of healing. That's actually not that bad. Now, that requires a lot more setup than some of the other perks here, especially a lot more than Whirlwind Blade, but it's an option you should know about. Overall, guys, I think it's going to be Relentless plus Whirlwind, Bait and Switch, or Chaos Reshaped if you want to try that out. And for PvP, nothing too insane here. It doesn't have Eager Edge, unfortunately, also for PvE, but there you have it. Now remember, the origin trait is going to matter on the sword here more than a lot of the other weapons also. Overall, guys, these weapons, I would say we've definitely seen some better raid weapons, like the Forbearance and stuff from that raid. I think were just outright better. By a lot, actually, but there is absolutely some stuff that is worth grinding for. I would say the two best is going to be between either the SMG with that demo plus Chaos Reshaped roll. I think that is very, very good. It's strand, so you can use it in a strand build. You can use those discounted armor mods. And the other one I'm really looking at here is the Nullify. Like, again, the roll of Heal Clip plus Incandescent is nutty, right? And extremely unique damage archetype and PvP potential because of its extremely unique damage archetype. A lot of good potential rolls out of this thing, and it might end up seeing a ton of play in PvP, especially if this archetype finds a foothold. And then really the other one I'm definitely looking at getting is actually going to be the Critical Anomaly, which is actually exactly the same archetype and main perk that the Succession Sniper Rifle, one of the best sniper rifles in the game for PvE, can actually get, except the Critical Anomaly can get arguably better perks, like Bait and Switch is insane here and is going to massively outdamage the Succession. Now, as for the other three, they're actually pretty decent, but I don't see them as like must craft, spend all of your Deepsight Harmonizers on them or anything like that. In any event, guys, that's our look at all 6 of the brand new raid weapons and their god rolls. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus, that is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.